Yo, what's going on, my snow bros? I finally feel comfortable enough to talk about Bubu. Um, and I don't know if I said this. I think it was a comment. I like Bubu. I don't particularly care for her design, but I like Bubu. Um, she's my favorite geomancer? Question mark. Even though she uses fire, but it is what it is. Um, but like jokes aside, I really like her gameplay. I think she's fun. In terms of how good she is, I have no fucking clue. But I wouldn't be surprised if she's a good character. She's sure as shit better than this disappointment that came out last update. Uh, but anyway, I'm just gonna quickly run down how she works. She's a very straightforward character. I'm so glad she's straightforward. Because when trying to understand Katya's kit, the summer one, was a nightmare for me. I got it. There's so many words in there. I was like, I couldn't figure it out. Well, I figured it out, but it was a lot. But anyway, Bubu, her standard skill. You hold it, you get S energy. That's it. Um, Very straightforward. But the passive is the most important part. Because that's pretty much how all of her damage works. Is that so basically Bubu's unable to recover S energy, hence the skill only recovering S energy. However, she automatically enters a state called Evil Ward, where each shot she shoots consumes 1 S energy to increase the thermal damage of her shot. Whenever her shots hit the target or other objects, you consume an additional S energy to ricochet the shot to nearby enemies. I believe it's up to 2 times, with each shot, or with the first shot dealing 25% less damage, and the second shot doing 50. So, very straightforward there. That's just pretty much how she works. Like, that's her main gameplay, is going to be shooting, recovering S energy, shooting. The dual skills for for her standard skill, you decrease the cooldown of the skill by 1 second, or to 1 second, which is pretty good. And while you're in Evil Ward state, it increases the max amount of bounces for each bullet to 3. Here's the thing. I'm not 100% sure if that makes it so that the final shot deals 75% damage, because for whatever reason, I'm assuming this is just a translation error. It says to a minimum of 50, not to a maximum, which doesn't make sense because the minimum is 25. But assuming that the wording is just a bit weird and not actually incorrect, that would mean that the third shot would do 75%, but I'm giving the benefit of doubt, say 50. Yeah. In terms of her support skill, quite honestly, this is an interesting support skill to me. So whenever you use Bubu's support skill, she pops up a little cube, right? And basically, whenever you shoot the cube, Bubu deals thermal damage to all enemies within the cube. I actually think this is not a useless support skill. It's interesting, it's fun, and it has a bit of use if you're fighting like crowds of enemies. So shout out to Bubu, she actually does good there. In terms of the neural skill for the support skill, it deals thermal damage equal to 20% of Bubu's attack every 0.5 seconds to targets inside the ray. I believe that's just like a damage over time effect for enemies that are inside the little cube. It increases the duration of the cube to 10 seconds instead of the normal 5, which is good because the cooldown is 20. So you have to cube up half the time, pretty much. It also costs 20 S energy, but that doesn't matter. Her ultimate is actually very simple as well. It does have a passive. Whenever Bubu is deployed, she gains 10 divine blessings every second. For every shot fired from the enhanced, we'll say every enhanced shot fired, she gets 45 divine blessing. Every 100 blessings will fill 1 seal, up to 3. And this is how her ultimate works. She consumes 1 seal to replenish her magazine and gain 100 vital essence, entering a state called the Evil Purge state. While she's in this state, all of her shots are enhanced, which have to something called 8-fold arcane shots, which have 100% crit rate and increased crit damage multiplier, including the bounces. You decrease S energy cost to 60% of that normal shots, and after firing 2 arcane shots or dodging in this state, she quickly reloads, which is very useful. While in this state, she cannot use her skill, and while in this state, she automatically consumes 4 vital essence every second and consumes 15 with each shot. She can still fire an arcane shot when vital essence is below 15, and she exits a state when it reaches 0. Um, and also, as well, quality of life thing. Started with the second use of the ult. There is no animation blade. And the standard crit damage amplifier is 50. This is pretty much her bread and butter. All you're really going to be doing is shooting enemies to build up her divine seal and popping your ult to kill said enemies. Very simple. In terms of the neural skills, whenever Bubu or an ally inflicts a target with paralyzed or stun, she gains 1 divine seal. This effect can only be triggered once per target. Kind of handy. Also, whenever she's equipped with a thermal weapon, she gains 1 divine seal at combat start and 1 seal every 600 seconds. I'm going to be honest with you, that 600-second thing don't even matter. But that basically means as long as you have a thermal weapon on her, she's going to start out with 2 seals instead of 1. I believe. I'm pretty sure it's 2. Don't quote me on that, but I'm confident saying it's 2. Yeah. And then in terms of her Deimos alignment, after she fires 2 shots, her next shot will be an arcane shot, and then she reloads when she has less than 3 bullets in the magazine. She also does a 3-round burst as well. However, each bullet in the 3-round burst, the final damage decreases to 60, while the U energy recovery and destructible damage decrease to 35% of the original value. And then the thing that stacks with alignment index is that you increase her attack by 5% for each 100. Yeah. So basically, what you're she's very simple. So you're gonna be shooting a lot. She's gonna be reloading a lot, and then that's pretty much it. You're gonna be popping that ult, killing enemies. I like a character like this. That's the reason why I like Life. She's very simple. You do your dodge shots. You pop her skill. You dodge. You shoot enemies enough to fill out the meter. You dodge, and she shoots, and that's how she works. In terms of her manifestations, I'm not sure which exactly is the best stopping point. But when I looked at this a couple weeks ago, I mean, yeah. I think M3 was the stopping point, right? Yeah, because he has the 20% defense recruit ignore. And it's rest is just straight up damage. I mean, if you want to maximize her damage, you probably want to get her M5 anyway, but for me personally, I feel like M3 is where I'm going to stop because I just like Bubu that much. But I feel like at M2, you should be fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You just kill things quicker. And unless you're competing in Neural Sim, killing things quicker don't really matter. Yeah. I mean, what more is there to say about Bubu? She's fun. That's all it is. Let me see, where can I really use her? Is this thing weak to fire? I'm pretty sure this is weak to fire. It's not. God, this fucking thing is here? That's crazy. I kind of want to show off the ricochet. I can't think of a game mode. Wait a minute. I got one. This is so scuffed, by the way. But it is what it is. We'll just go into this because this is still active for me. And I'm just going to show off Bubu and how she works. Yes, confirm skipping. Not exactly sure what's happening here. Okay, it's loading. That's a bit awkward. Not cutting that. Standard skill damage? Sure. But I mostly just want to come here to show off the ricochet. Because that's the most important thing for me personally. So, boom. You see the shots ricochet, does less damage each time. I'm pretty sure it's roughly the same. And as you can see there, her shots had the magazine refill. So you see 6, 5, 4, she does the burst, automatically reloads the gun. And very quickly as well. It's significantly faster than if I did it myself. Or not significantly faster. But yeah. And you pop her ultimate, and she just does a lot more damage. As you can see. A lot more damage. With no supports by herself. So, yeah, I think she was dropping 70k there on the first shots. And then, with each shot ricocheting, you can deal with 3 or 4 enemies relatively easily. But that's not the interesting about Bubu. Bubu actually has some interesting interactions with a particular character that I like. Anniversary Finny, aka our wifey, number 2 or 1, depending on which one you prefer. some of you may know this, but Friendly Support Skills adds like this special magazine on top of the regular magazine. And at first, when I initially used Bubu, I thought that would be awful for Bubu because whenever you force a reload on a character, I believe, oh no, never force a reload. It doesn't get rid of the clip. I thought Bubu would reload the clip and therefore it would get rid of it. She doesn't. She doesn't reload. I guess because technically you haven't used your regular magazine, so she has no need to. So she has an interesting interaction with her in the sense that you can pop her magazine to deal, like, I guess extra damage, but also not reload constantly. Let me do some quick evaluations here so I can actually take a team. We'll just go into here so I won't get slaughtered on site. Where is Bubu? Here. Don't worry about my damage, by the way. My Bubu's not perfect. But like as you saw earlier, you know, you have to reload after each burst, essentially, right? But with Finny, you don't. You just keep shooting. The only issue with Bubu is that she blows through that magazine in like 2.3 seconds. So the magazine is not even up long enough, and you're gonna probably blow through all of Finny's charges very quickly. So in terms of like a meta perspective, I'm not 100% sure if Finny is like her best support, just because, as you can see, I'm out of charges. Also forgot to refill my synergy. But yeah, I don't even know what her best team is. I feel like if you're fighting a boss with a single phase, basically like this lady, Mauxer is probably going to be one of her best supports with, I believe Finny is probably going to be second because there's really no other ballistic damage supports 5-star specifically. You could argue Kaguya could be her other support as well. Tess is like useless on her because you don't need to charge her ultimate. And then Enya doesn't work with her because she doesn't do standard skill damage that I know of. I'm about 90% sure she doesn't. And then Marion is interesting in a sense that you can build up Marion's support skill for Marion herself to come in and do damage. But in terms of her standard skill buff, she doesn't buff. It's useless on her. So if you have Marion, I guess you can use Marion as more of a sub DPS in a Bubu team. But aside of that, I can't think of any other characters that are good with Bubu. Bubu's in an interesting spot though. So I guess the best team would be like Mauxer / Kaguya with Finny, right? If you can kill the boss fast enough. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. In terms of building Finny, I forgot to mention this earlier for her logistics. You don't need crit rate, so most likely it's going to be attack / alignment index with crit damage. I feel like that's going to be her best thing. And the reason why I said slash alignment index is because she gets attack from her alignment index. So I'm not sure if they're exactly equal, but you could probably get away with using either or, but you want to make sure you have crit damage. I don't have crit damage. I have terrible luck with these things, plus I haven't exactly been picking them up as I've just been logging in and doing my dailies. But eventually I'll start farming for better ones. I need to get the resources first. But yeah, I mean that's really all I have to say about Bubu. I think she's fantastic. Very surprising character for me to release because I didn't know who she was. And I had no expectations for her, especially after the Frito Pie back there. But yeah, man, like I think she's great. I think Season Games did well with with the little time they had with Bubu. If you were here last update, you would know the shit show that was. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Let me know how you guys feel about Bubu. Do you like her? Do you dislike her? Do you think I'm completely wrong? Do you have any suggestions on suggestions on like what her team could be, right? Because I know other creators have already put out videos by now, right? Like I said, I'm a little late, only a couple weeks, but yeah, this is a good update. This is not a little Frito Pie situation where Frito Pie wasn't even the best character on her update. In terms of Bubu or Katya, it's like Katya is probably better, but I think Bubu is more fun personally. So, yeah, I guess we'll do some summons here. Am I gonna get her weapon? I got a weapon, but not her weapon. All right, I'm broke. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I hope that you have a great day, and yeah.